Welcome to another Vixa Vaughn romance audiobook. We're excited to have you join us. Whether you're into second chance romance, enemies to lovers, fake marriage, or any other trope, Vixa Vaughn offers you the chance to escape into stories that will carry you away into heart-pounding romance and gripping characters. While we want to get you the full experience, some parts of this audiobook are abridged to stay abreast of YouTube's community guidelines. If you want the full experience, you can always head to Vixa Vaughn Romance and use code VIXA40 to get the unabridged version of this audiobook for 40% off. Now sit back and enjoy the show.
Chapter 1. Ellie. I wake up to the sound of my alarm clock playing one of my favorite songs. Turning it off, I stand up to stretch and look at the calendar to check what day it is. Oh, right. Today marks the first death anniversary of my husband, Derek. I still can't believe it's been 3 years. It seems like it only happened yesterday. I miss him so much. I start getting ready for work. When I finish, I go to each of my twins' bedrooms to check on them and help them get ready. I go to my son, Rory's room, and see him struggling to put on his shirt. "Here, let me help you with that," I say as I start walking toward him to help. "Wait, Mommy, I can do this," he informs me, his voice muffled by his shirt. "You sure? Come on, let me," I tell him, but he quickly cuts in. "I can do this, Mommy." He successfully pokes his head through the neck hole of his shirt. "See, I told you I can do it. I'm a big boy, Mommy," he tells me proudly. "Yes, you're a big boy," I reply with a smile. "Yes, I'm 5, and 5 is a big boy," he answers. "That's what Daddy used to call me," he adds. I smile as I hug him. "Even when you get old, you'll still be Mama's little Rory." I poke his nose. "Do you need help with anything else?" I ask. "No, Mama. I'm Mama's big Rory now," he exclaims. "Okay, I'll go check on your sister," I reply. "Make sure you're by the door in 10 minutes, okay, big boy?" I add as I leave his room. "Okay, Mommy," he answers. I head to my daughter's bedroom next. Her name is Nadine, which means hope, but I call her Deanie. I make it a point to check on her more frequently since my husband died. She's always been a daddy's girl, and Derek's death has been particularly hard on her. I enter her room and see her standing by her dressing table while she plays with a little trumpet figurine Derek gave her as a gift on her 3rd birthday, her last birthday with Derek. "Hey, sweetie, it looks like your hair's still messy," I tell her. "Forgot how to tie your hair again?" I ask. "No, Mommy," she answers. "Okay, let me help you," I say as I start fixing her hair. "I miss Daddy," she says tearfully. "I know. I miss him too, sweetie," I reply. "Mommy, what was he like?" she asks me. "You always tell us we're too young to remember him." "Yes, you were. You and Rory were just 3 years old when your daddy died," I remind her. "So what was he like, Mommy?" she asks me again. "Well, he's German. He loved jazz. We both do. That's how your daddy and I met, and," I tell her, and she butts in quickly. "And that's also how you and Daddy made me and Rory?" she blurts. "What in the name, Deanie?" I exclaim as she looks at me and laughs. "Sweetie, you're 5 years old. Where did you hear that?" Mommy and Daddy make babies. I know that," she explains. "I'm a big girl now." "Yes, you are a big girl," I assure her. I'm relieved that's all she knows. She may be precocious, but she's still only 5. "Okay, sweetie, it's time to go. Your brother's waiting," I tell her as we both leave the room. Nadine and I walk to the front door where Rory's waiting. Rory opens the door and they both step outside. Standing beside the car as I grab my keys, I lock up the house and open the door for them, hopping inside the pickup truck Derek used to drive and which I inherited after his death. A few minutes later, we're finally on the road. I insert a jazz CD as we go on our way. We always listen to jazz during drives. Both twins are happily listening to the music from the back seat. On the road, I notice through the rearview mirror that Rory's asthma is flaring up again. I reach over the glove compartment to pull out his inhaler, asking Deanie to give it to her brother. She then hands it to him, and Rory finally sprays it into his mouth. A couple of puffs somewhat makes him better. "Mommy, I think my inhaler is almost out," Rory tells me. "Okay, thanks, honey. I'll go to the drugstore right after I drop the two of you off to buy you a new one," I say to him. 10 minutes later, we arrive at the daycare. My twins hop off the car as they wave goodbye to me before the daycare assistants take them inside. I drive away and head to the drugstore to get the medicine for my son's asthma. I ask the pharmacist for the inhaler, showing her the prescription from the pediatrician. She then shows me the price, and I'm surprised it's gotten much higher than what I usually pay for. "I'm sorry, you must have gotten the wrong brand," I inform the pharmacist. "No, ma'am, I got the right one. Here, take a look," she tells me, pointing out the brand name. It's correct. "Well, I guess you're right. They raised prices again?" I ask. "I'm sorry, but I can't answer that question, ma'am. I'm new here and I just got this job yesterday," she says. I hesitate to purchase the inhaler because the price is out of my budget. The rent for the music store is due today, but at the same time, my son needs his medicine. Oh well, I guess the rent can wait. I decide to pay for the inhaler. Health first, of course. After paying, I return to my truck and head on to the store. I play jazz to calm myself. The breeze coming in from the window calms me down even more. This little town has always soothed my nerves. It's where Derek and I met and decided to put down roots. It's where my children now call home. I arrive at the store 15 minutes later. I turn on the lights as soon as I enter and tidy everything up before switching the sign to open and playing some jazz music for ambience. Yes. Good old jazz music for a good old music store. I stop for a moment as I'm assailed by memories of Derek. We had fun, even when there were no customers coming, listening to lots of jazz music together. He would even play his trumpet while I sing along to the songs as well. I sigh and close my eyes, remembering all the nights Derek and I worked at jazz clubs together. We met in one of them, in fact. I moonlighted as a singer at night, and I also gave piano lessons during the day. Derek was a member of a touring jazz band, and he saw me singing one night at one of the clubs. He quit the band and chose to stay with me. So after we got married, we decided to open our own music store. He and the twins are all I've got for the last 5 years. My parents were immigrants from St. Thomas, and they always encouraged me to make a name for myself. It's why I work so hard, booking singing gigs and teaching music. For the last 2 years since Derek died, all I have are my lovely twins, and this music store with the rent due today, and my wallet not having enough money. I can't afford to lose the store. Derek and I worked so hard to save the money for the deposit, scraping together everything we earned to have something of our own. I sigh deeply and open my eyes to see a man coming in. I quickly stand behind the counter. "Good day. Welcome to Music and More. How can—" I start, but I stop when I recognize the man's face. Oh, great. It's Chris Watson. "Hey there, Ellie Parker," he greets. "Hi, Chris," I answer monotonously. "I believe your rent is due today," he tells me. "Look, I actually had the money, but something came up." I sigh. "My son's asthma kicked in, so I spent some of it for his medicine. I'll pay you next week, I promise," I explain. "Sorry to hear that, Ellie. Really. But I'm under orders to inform you, if you miss one more rent payment, you'll lose the store," he tells me reluctantly. "The company can't keep delaying your rent. I have my own boss and he has his own bills to pay." I sigh deeply. To be honest, I don't know what to do nor where to get the rest of the rent money. Everything was so much easier with Derek by my side. I wish more than ever he was still here. Oh God, please help me.
Chapter 2. Chris. Do I really have to do this, Dad? I ask my father over the phone. Why don't you ask your staff to do this instead of me? I add, yes, you're doing it. And no, I won't ask my staff. You can at least do this little thing for the company, he says. If you really want to inherit it, you have to know how to work it from the ground up. That's a simple task I assign to you, he adds. Yes, Dad, I sigh. I'll take care of it, I add as I hang up. My father, Baxter Watson, always admonishes me to work harder than I already do. He pushes me hard, wanting me to maintain, no, surpass the wealth he's accumulated over the years. Since I was young, he's never stopped pushing me to be better, do better, earn better. He's never satisfied with how well I do. Even when I graduated summa cum laude, he just gave me a grunt of approval and a hug before asking what I planned to do with my life. He loves us, of course, but he's never content with our efforts. This is all my mother's fault. If not for her, my dad wouldn't be a workaholic, and he wouldn't want everybody to be one either. After all, I can't blame him completely for how he is. My mother, Rachel, left him for a rich man, after which we moved to the big city to start over. Since then, he changed. My dad worked long hours just to become rich, richer than the man she married. He swore he would make it big to get back at her for leaving him. Us. Though they had it tough, I never thought she'd one day drop everything and head off for parts unknown without even sending word to us. But then, I was so young when she left. All I can remember is, my dad used to be so affectionate with her and with us. He'd tease her out of her bad moods and complaints, even though she was always pushing him to find another job that paid better, or look for another job even though he already had to. He'd give her hugs and smother her with kisses. She was a singer at a club, and after she left, there were no more hugs, no more kisses, and no more music. I know I don't need to do this task, but I can't let this one pass, or my dad will choose my older brother, Nathan, as his heir. Although even if I do this task, he's likely to choose Nathan anyway. Ever since we started working in the company, he's pitted us against each other, dangling our inheritance over our faces if we don't do as he says. Lately, though, the tide has shifted in Nathan's favor. My dad is happy because Nathan's marrying a rich woman, Penelope Cooper, and starting a family with her. Ah, that woman. I'm not convinced Nathan will have a good life with this Penelope. I've seen her dancing at a nightclub before, and she's quite flirtatious, dancing around and flitting from man to man. I'm not sure she'll be satisfied with him. Anyway, I just have to grit my teeth and do this. I step outside and slowly walk to the store. I can see Ellie from the outside, tending to her merchandise. I've always had a crush on her, but when I first met her, her husband had just died, and the timing wasn't right. Plus, our company had just bought the deed to the block of buildings her music store is located, and she took an instant dislike to me because I was the one he'd tasked to request for her rent. Since then, I've tried to avoid coming around to collect, but I can't eschew the job completely. It may be perverted, but seeing her every so often filled me with satisfaction. I enter and hear some jazz music. Why does this store always play jazz anyway? It's a music store for crying out loud. Other genres should work just as well. Good day. Welcome to Music and More. How can... She greets me, but stops when she recognizes my face. She gives me her excuse for not being able to pay the rent, and in my head, I think, damn it, I'll have to tell my dad. My phone rings. Speak of the devil. Excuse me, I have to take this, I say, walking away a few feet. Dad, I ask, answering the call. So, he asks, the task. Chill, Dad, I'm on it. Can you please give me some space to do what you asked? I plead with him. All right, son. Let me know once it's done, he says. By the way, I'm calling to remind you there's a family reunion coming up, okay? Yeah, Dad. I won't forget, I reply before hanging up. Right. The family reunion, or we can call it Nathan's triumph. I know my dad's just using the reunion as incentive for us to compete even more with each other. My dad should just choose me. I know I've worked hard enough for it. The only advantage Nathan has is he's marrying Penelope. Otherwise, he's always slacked off and done the bare minimum Dad asks of him. Suddenly, a light bulb goes on in my head. Say, Ellie, you're juggling a lot of financial problems right now, am I right? I ask her. Yes, I am, she answers with hesitation. And you don't have enough money right now, yes? I continue. Correct again, she tells me before gazing at the ground. All right. What if we make a deal? I begin as I walk back toward her. Why are you sweating? I ask in confusion. I'm just nervous. Her voice quavers. Nervous of what? I ask, still perplexed. What you're going to say, she says nervously. I know I'm late with the rent. I don't know when I'll have enough money to cover the rest, and I know this isn't the first time I'm late paying, but please, my kids need me. I'm all they have left, she pleads, licking her lips. Relax, Ellie. I soothe her, my hand raised in a gesture of appeasement. Despite what you think of me, I'm not that kind of man. When she starts looking relieved, I continue. Unfortunately, I'm not the boss of our company yet, and I have to tell my father that there'll be a delay in your payment. Given that this is your third time, I don't know how understanding he's going to be. Ellie starts looking worried again. Her brows are furrowed and she looks desperate. She opens her mouth to speak, but I interrupt. I can cover your rent for now, and you can pay me back as soon as you have the money. Why would you do such a thing for me? She asks, her head askance. My reasons are not completely altruistic, I admit. I'm thinking we can help each other. In return for me paying your rent this month, I need you to pretend to be my fiancé for a time. She looks at me with her mouth open, speechless. Can you please give me one good reason why I should agree to that? She demands. Simple. If you agree to be my fake fiancé and I inherit the company, I'll pay off all your debts and I'll even pay for your son's medical bills, I explain. That doesn't make sense to me, she tells me. Going through this charade just to inherit a company? Look, Ellie, I'm about to lose out on being the next owner, which is something I desperately want. If he sees me with a fiancé, I tell her. But she interrupts me. Fake fiancé. I nod my head. If he sees you with me and thinks I'm finally settling down, he'll leave the company to me, and I'll be in a great position to help you, I explain to her. Wait, let me think. There's too much information here, she replies, putting her fingers to her temples and massaging them. All right, I'll leave you alone first. I guess I'll just look around here for a moment, I answer her as I walk away. Don't take too long, please. I need to let my father know as soon as possible. Nailed it.
Chapter 3. Ellie. What the hell is happening? He asked me to be his fiancé? I mean, fake fiancé. I'm so shocked, and I don't know what to say. I won't deny the fact that I'm sorely tempted when he said he'll pay off my debts and even help with Rory's medication. But being someone else's fiancé, I can't imagine a life with anyone other than Derek. Ellie, he just said to be a fake one. It's that easy. No strings attached. Go. I can't afford to lose my music store, and at the same time, my twins need me, especially Rory. I'm mulling over my family's future expenses, all of which I can't afford. If I don't do something now, I'll be drowning in debt. And social services might take them away from me. That's what I fear most. The twins are all I have. What now, Ellie? Think wisely. Oh, Derek, I love you, but I hope you understand why I have to do this. All right, I shout. Chris turns to face me and walks back to the counter. Are you saying yes? He asks. Maybe. Yes. No. I don't know. I guess, I reply. Okay, then. There are conditions you have to keep in mind, he tells me. Hey, wait a minute. I didn't say yes yet. I mean, I'm not sure I'm agreeing with you. I answer. You know what? I'll just say it anyway, he replies. First of all, you have to pretend that our romance has been going on for a year. A little after I met you, in fact. Right. I kind of get why. Next, I continue curiously. Second, you won't mention your kids? He answers. What? Rory and Nadine? Why not? I yelp. Not my twins. They're the sweetest. No, not a single word about your little munchkins, he informs me. This is ridiculous, I say to him. He's ridiculous, all right. And I can't believe I'm hearing this right now. Third, you can't say you're a singer, he says, ticking the list off with his fingers. He raises his eyebrow at me, and I just stare at him with a poker face. What? I ask. I'm expecting to hear a side comment from you, he answers. Well, I'm so sorry, mister. I'm just listening to your ludicrous demands. All on the day of my husband's second death anniversary of all things. Not that it means anything to you. Move on to the next condition, I urge. This man is really getting on my nerves, all right. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I didn't know. He apologizes. Lastly, you can't tell anyone you're a piano teacher, he tells me. In fact, no mention of music whatsoever. All right, that's it? Thank you. You can leave now, I say to him. What? He gasps. Come on, Ellie. It's win-win for both of us. Absolutely not, I fume. Listen, Ellie. I can help you if you can help me. See? It's actually fair, and I'm just being honest, he explains. You're ridiculous, and I'm also just being honest. Thank you for the entertaining offer. Now please leave, I command firmly. Is this about your late husband, Derek? He asks me. Maybe. Yes. No. I don't know, I guess, I reply with a hesitation. Ellie, you don't have to worry about him because I'm never going to marry you anyway. We'll fake everything, he tells me. You know what? You had me at paying for everything, but you lost me when you issued so many ridiculous demands, especially denying my kids, I say to him. They're the only things in my life I'm proud of. This fiancé thing is too much, I add. But what about your financial issues, Ellie? You do know your debts will only get bigger, am I right? He asks me. Yeah, I do know that, but they're my own financial issues anyway. I can figure something out. I don't know. Please, I just need you to leave, I tell him emphatically. I'm going to teach piano to a student in a few, I add. You need to go now. All right, I'm leaving. Believe me, I'm terribly sorry things are hard for you right now, Ellie. He tells me, but do keep this card. You can see my contact number here. He slides me a small slip of paper, leaving it on the counter when he sees I refuse to take it. Thanks, but I don't think I'll be needing this, I answer. Just keep it anyway. If you ever change your mind, you can give me a call right away, he says before walking to the door. All right, whatever, thanks, I reply. Oh, one more thing. I'll still cover your rent this month. I don't want your kid to suffer just because you had to make a choice between his health and this place. His words make me feel guilty. Am I being stupid for hesitating to accept his offer? He continues in parting. So keep in mind you still have to repay me ASAP. I just nod my head. Nice store, by the way. He smiles as he finally steps outside the store and leaves. As soon as the door shuts behind him, I sigh deeply and crouch on the floor, pausing for a moment and trying to think of other ways to solve my financial issues. None comes to mind. I work so hard every single day and night for everything, but it's still not enough. Life is so unfair. Everything was so much easier 2 years ago, before Derek got sick. It's hard being a single parent. It's even harder to contemplate how much I'm missing out on with my kids because I'm working all the time. I want to give my kids a better life, I want to have a steady job, and I want to be the best mom to my twins that I can be. Life is so unfair. Why did Derek's kidneys have to fail? I wish he was still here with me. Life is so hard and empty without you, Derek. Chapter 4. Ellie. I'm still sitting on the floor with tears in my eyes. The door chime rings and I quickly wipe my tears away. I sigh as I stand up to greet the person who just entered the store. "Good day, Mrs. Parker," Annie greets me. She's one of my cutest piano students. "Hello there, Annie," I say to her as I fake a smile. "Ready for another piano lesson?" She nods her head. "All right, say bye-bye to your mommy and let's go inside the studio," I urge. She waves goodbye to her mom and does as I ask her, running to the studio in her excitement to start. "She'll be out after an hour," I say to her mother, and she gives me a smile before she leaves. I enter the studio more slowly, and I see Annie already sitting in front of the piano. She's smiling at me, and I can see how excited she is. I smile as I sit beside her, my despair earlier put on the back burner for now. "Someone's excited," I say. "Okay, now are you ready? We need to warm up. Let's shake our beautiful hands first." "Come on, shake," I invite her. We both shake our hands, our head, arms, body, even our feet. I'll use this time to shake everything off and focus on what I need to do, set everything aside, and not worry about any financial issues I've got. Financial issues, money, the store, oh my God. All of a sudden, my mind recollects Chris's proposal. The amount of my debts flash across my mind. Rory's medication is becoming more expensive. I'm about to lose my store, and the solution has been handed to me on a silver platter. All I need to do is pretend to be someone's fiancé. Focus, Ellie. Focus. I can't help but question his motives. Can it really be that easy? "Hey, Mrs. Parker." "Mrs. Parker," Annie asks, "how long have I been daydreaming?" "Yes, Annie," I reply. "Are you okay, Mrs. Parker?" she asks, with concern on her little face. "Yes, Annie, I'm all right," I tell her, running my palm down her hair. "Is there something wrong with the wall? Maybe a spider?" she asks in puzzlement. "Why'd you ask?" I answer. "Nothing. You've been staring at the wall for a long time now, Mrs. Parker," she replies. "Really? I'm sorry. For how long?" I ask her. I don't know. Just a few minutes, I guess," she answers. "What's happening to you, Ellie? Get a hold of yourself." "Oh, I'm sorry, Annie. I was just thinking. Where were we? Oh, right. Let's shake our hands first," I say to her. "We already did that, Mrs. Parker," she informs me helpfully. "I was shaking my whole body and it was fun," she adds. I smile. "Well, in that case, we should start." "All right, right hand first. Your thumb on the middle C." 50 minutes later, her piano lesson finally ends. We both step outside the studio, and I see her mother entering the store, just in time to pick her up. Annie runs into her mother's waiting arms and waves goodbye as they leave. 6 hours later, I finally got to close the store, driving to the daycare to pick up Rory and Deanie. As I arrive, my twins, who must have been waiting with the daycare workers inside, come running toward me. We stop by the ice cream store for a treat. They are so happy, and they both have big smiles on their faces as they tell me how their day went. When we arrive home, I tell them to wash up while I prepare us a quick dinner. My twins quickly clean up themselves. I swiftly make some grilled cheese sandwiches and ready them on their favorite animal plates. They make fast work of their dinner before going to the living room to catch their current favorite show, High Five. I hurriedly rinse the plates, putting all the used items into the dishwasher. "Mommy, High Five is on. Come now," Nadine calls me. "I'll be right there," I tell her, shutting the dishwasher down with a loud thunk. Come on, Mommy, Rory calls this time. I stop everything I'm doing and walk to the living room where my kids are. They're so sweet. They're still at the age where they both want to cuddle with me while we watch shows together. I, for one, am not about to let such opportunities pass. The time flies quickly, and before we know it, it's already their bedtime. Come on, kids. Time to sleep, I announce. Mommy has to get ready. No, they both shout in protest. Not again, Rory hollers. Why is that? I question him. What do you mean again? I add, my brows furrowed. You're leaving again, every night, Nadine mumbles. Mommy needs to go to work, I explain. Come on, kids. It's almost Friday. The three of us can spend a great weekend together soon, I add. But why every night, Mommy? Can't you work in the daytime? Rory queries. She can't because the sun dazzles her, Deanie tells him jokingly, and we all laugh. I work for the two of you. So I can give you everything you need and more, I say to them as we hear a knock at the door. Well, that must be Marisol, I tell them. Marisol is their babysitter. If she's a piano sitter, she'll sit on both D and G. Nadine jokes again. You bet, Deanie, I reply to her. Now, both of you be good, okay? Go to your beds now, I tell them as I kiss them on their foreheads. I walk toward the door and see Marisol as I open it. Mrs. Parker, Marisol greets me. Hey, Marisol, I greet her back. Thanks for coming. Well, you know the routine. Yes, I do, Mrs. Parker, she replies. Break a leg tonight, she adds. Thanks, Marisol. Good night, Munchkins, I tell the kids. Good night, Mommy, they both reply. I get my keys and step outside as Marisol closes the door. I head directly to one of the jazz clubs I work at. It's one where I rely a lot on tips and is 30 minutes away. When I arrive, I find it strange to see a lot of cars parked on a Thursday night. Oh well, more customers, more tips. I enter the club and see that the room is packed. That's strange. The club is never this full on a weekday. I squeeze through the crowd and make my way to the front. As I reach the stage, the owner approaches me. Ellie, am I glad to see you here early? He says as soon as he sees me. Hello, sir. A lot of people here tonight, I reply. Yeah? I couldn't believe it either, he exclaims. This is great news for the jazz club, sir. If you'll excuse me, I better go and get, I tell him, but he interrupts me. Hey, Ellie, look, the two on stage are the new jazz act in town, and most of the clubs have booked them, he says. I'm afraid we have no room for you on the schedule, he adds apologetically. How sure are you that most of the clubs really booked them? I ask. I called. I know you work for a lot of bars and jazz clubs. I was kind of worried for you, so I personally referred you to each of the owners, thinking they might have a schedule for you. But I'm afraid they also booked this duo here, he explains. I'm really sorry, Ellie. I squeeze my way out of the club and quickly return to my car. I slam the door shut and slap both palms on the steering wheel as well. All of a sudden, the tears I've struggled so hard to keep back stream down my cheeks. Why is this happening? I feel so lost. I can't imagine that my jazz career might come to an end. What should I do now? I sigh deeply and catch my breath. 5 minutes later, I wipe my tears away and start the car. I step on the gas and just drive back home. Marisol was kind of surprised I've returned so quickly, but she leaves anyway. I quietly check up on Rory and Nadine, then I slowly walk to the living room and sit on the sofa. I pull out the card Chris gave me earlier and stare at it. 2 minutes later, I dial his phone number. The phone rings only for a short time before he answers. I'm in, I tell him.
Chapter 5. Chris. My phone rings. It's an unknown number. I look at the time and see it's already 2:30 a.m. Who the hell is calling at this hour? I complain, but answer the call anyway. I'm in, I hear a woman's voice say. What? I question. I said I'm in, she replies. I'm sorry, but who is this? I ask. Oh, sorry, how rude of me. It's me, Ellie Parker, she clarifies. Ellie, I exclaim. So you're in, you say? I ask. Yeah, I'm in, for real, she verifies. What changed your mind? I ask her. Long story, she replies. So we have a deal, right? She asks. Yes, we totally do, I say after a pause. Hey, Ellie, thanks for agreeing to this, but can we talk tomorrow? I ask her. It's kinda late. 2:40 a.m. Oh, right, I'm so sorry. Okay, I guess we'll talk tomorrow, she confirms. Sorry, it's just... I don't stay up late on weekdays, I inform her. Here's a better idea, why don't we meet tomorrow at a cafe? I ask her. All right, 4 o'clock in the afternoon will work for me, she answers. All right then, I reply. Yay, we're engaged. I joke and we both laugh. Good night, Chris, she says before hanging up. The next day, I arrive earlier than we agreed at the cafe. It's only 3:45 p.m. and I choose seats in the corner. 15 minutes later, right on the dot, Ellie enters. I wave so she can see me. She sits down after a word of greeting and a waitress comes to give us our menus. Good day to you, sir. Ma'am, may I take your order? She asks. I signal Ellie to go first. Hi, I'll just have a caramel frappuccino, Ellie replies. Okay. You, sir? The waitress turns to me. I'll have a decaf Americano, I tell her, and a slice of cheesecake. With 2 forks, I add. All right, 1 decaf, 1 caramel frappuccino, and a slice of cheesecake coming right up, the waitress states and walks away. You love cheesecake? Ellie asks. Yes, it's my favorite, and of course, every special occasion needs cake, I tell her. What's the occasion? Oh my God, is it your birthday? She gasps. No, it's not, I reply. We just got engaged, remember? I smirk. All right, okay. You got me, she replies, and we both laugh. Woo! I thought it's your birthday. When is your birthday, actually? She adds. Why do you want to know? I question back. Well, I just want to get to know my fiancé, she replies. I smile. The waitress is back. She then serves our orders and walks away right after. All right, we have a lot to discuss, Ellie. I start. First things first. Okay, I'm listening, she replies. The family reunion is 2 weeks away, and it will be held at our family's private beach house. Everyone will be there, even my friends and friends of the family. We need to convince them all that we've been dating for a while, I state. Okay, 2 weeks to get to know each other. We can do that, I tell him. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm planning a fake proposal at the reunion in front of my father, I share. Wait, I thought we're already engaged, she asks. If not, what's the cake for? I just ordered it because it's my favorite, all right? I answer. Besides, even if we're faking everything, at least I can give you a proper fake proposal. I might as well fake the ring, too. I add. Really? She looks at me with an incredulous face. What? You're making that face again, I say defensively, taking a bite of my cheesecake. Never mind. Go on, she urges me. We kinda need to live together for a while. We are engaged, after all, I say. Are you kidding me? What about my twins? She sputters. I'll hire a live-in nanny and we can tell everyone the kids belong to the nanny, I propose, half teasing. That idea is ridiculous, she bleats in outrage. Come on, it's just a joke, I say defensively. But seriously, no one can take them in for a while? She doesn't respond, just looking at me with a flabbergasted expression on her face. A grandma, aunt, uncle, family friend, co-worker? I continue, getting into the spirit of things and enjoying the shocked expression on her face. No? No one? She just makes an audible clicking sound in her throat, while continuing to look at me with a mullish expression. All right. Guess there's no choice but to bring them with you. I acquiesce. Anyway, we just need to stay engaged for a short time after my father hands over the company. All right, she sighs. This is against my better judgment. Ellie, I can't thank you enough for saying yes to this. I smile. Why don't you pitch in some rules so you can feel more comfortable about this? I ask her. Okay, no touching and no holding hands, she states. Unless necessary and only in public, she adds. I can do that, I reply agreeably. Lastly, definitely no sex, she says frankly as I choke on my coffee. What? Really? All right, no sex at all. Give me a slap if I ever attempt to, I joke. I'm serious. Okay, I'll move in with you with my kids for the time being. I agree to hiring a nanny, she tells me. Thank you. I take a sip of my coffee. Well, I guess that's it for me, she says. Okay. There's just one more thing I need to ask you, I say. Go on, she replies as she takes a sip of her frappuccino. Kiss me, I say with a smirk as she chokes. Excuse me? She asks, wiping her mouth. Didn't you hear me? I ask. I said, kiss me, I emphasize. Why? She asks. Well, I guess you don't need to. We still have 2 weeks to go before our first kiss, I tell her. Why are you worrying about that? Do I even need to kiss you after you propose? She asks. Of course. We need to make it believable, I answer. Okay, fine. But until then, I'm not kissing you at all. She scowls. If you say so, I reply. An awkward silence comes. We silently eat cheesecake and sip our coffees. 3 minutes later, Ellie murmurs, Fine, only in public. She gives me a small peck on the cheek. I wonder what made her say yes.
Chapter 6. Ellie. My kids and I are picked up by Chris, who's at the wheel of a black SUV. I sit in the front passenger seat, while Rory and Nadine sit together at the back. He had 2 booster seats ready, and for all his protests at having them stay with us, he's pretty well prepared. Why are we even moving? Rory drawls sadly. The house just needs some renovation, honey, I tell him. It'll only be for a little while, I add reassuringly. I'll miss the stars on my bedroom ceiling, says Nadine. Already? We're still on our way to the new house, I reply. Don't you worry, Nadine. Your temporary room is going to be a great one, Chris butts in. And we can buy you a whole new set of stars for your bedroom. Really? Nadine asks, in a significantly brighter mood. Who are you anyway? Mommy, who is he? She queries. Kids, I want you to meet Chris. He works with Mommy. I answer her with a side wink at Chris. Your mommy's right. Someday I'll have kids of my own, and your mommy was nice enough to let me meet you. So I'll know what it's like, Chris explains. You're staying at my house with me, and I hope you like it very much. So you're acting like you're my dad? She asks. You bet, Chris answers. And you too, Mommy? You're acting like our mom? Rory questions. I laugh. Rory, I am your mom. Oh, right, he replies. I turn to face him as I say, and you'll always be my big boy. He smiles at that. 10 minutes later, we arrive at Chris's house. As we step outside, the 3 of us are surprised by how enormous his house is. The kids see a barn toward the back, and they both run toward it, oohing and eyeing over the horses Chris owns, who are grazing on the paddock. Kids, let's fix your things first. Come on, I shout. The kids run back and we all enter the house. Your house is amazing, the twins exclaim happily. We see a lady waiting as we enter. It must be the live-in nanny Chris hired. Good day, I'm Jenny, she tells us. What are your names? She asks the kids. These are my lovely twins. This is Nadine and this is Rory, I answer her. Nice to meet you, Miss Ellie. And nice to meet you too, Nadine and Rory. "Let me show you your bedrooms on the 3rd floor," Jenny says with a big smile on her face. Go with her kids. Be good, I remind as the 3 of them walk away. "Allow me to show you our bedroom. It's on the 2nd floor," Chris tells me. He leads the way as we walk upstairs. When we reach the room, he opens the double doors for me. I'm shocked by how big and beautiful the room is. It's so spacious, with a luxurious plush carpet in cream, and the ensuite bathroom comes with a huge bathtub. It even has a wide walk-in closet in an adjacent room. An 85-inch TV is mounted to the wall and faces the bed. Wow, nothing but the best for this guy. The room comes with a balcony, too. It's decorated with a set of beautiful furniture, and oh my, the view is amazing. I walk to the edge of the balcony and inhale the fresh air. I stare at the trees and the wide garden, all still part of his house. The barn we saw when we arrived takes up the left side of the view. Through my periphery, I see Chris standing beside me. "Great view, huh?" he asks. "Yes, you have a great house," I compliment with a smile. "I used to live on a small farm," he tells me. "If you love the farm, why did you move to the city?" I ask. "That was when I was growing up. Me, my brother, my dad, and my mom," he replies. "I loved that farm because we all lived there together," he adds. "It was before my mom left my dad for someone else," he murmurs. I turn to face him. "I'm sorry, Chris. Since then, my dad always tells me to work hard, to maintain a certain level of income, that I shouldn't depend on anyone. He moved to the big city and swore to start fresh. Well, I hated the big city in the beginning and missed the farm a lot." He shares. "You don't have to tell me this, Chris." "It's fine," he sighs. "After all, I'm going to be your fake fiancé," he answers. I just nod at him to encourage him to continue. "My father founded the commercial real estate company, which now owns the building you're renting for your music store," he explains. "I get it now," I speak. "What's so special about that music store anyway?" he asks. "Well, my late husband, Derek, and I met because of music. He was a member of a touring jazz band, and he saw me singing one night at a jazz club. When it was time for the band to move on, he quit and chose to stay with me, so we decided to open our own music store. We worked really hard to earn the money for the deposit and the stocks. I taught piano, and he gave trumpet lessons during the day while we played together at clubs by night. A lot of memories I have of him are connected to that store." "Wow, no wonder you're so attached to it," he replies. "Would you believe Derek and I almost closed that store a few years ago?" I say to him. "Why? You said it was special to both of you?" he queries. "I thought Derek cared more about music than about me. There was one night when he told me he wanted to join his band in Germany. He said he misses his career and touring. He made it sound as if he could earn more if he was away from us and with the band," I tell him. "Ouch, that's hard to hear," he bleats. "I know, we had a lot of fights about it. All right," I sigh. "But he changed his mind in the end and he stayed." "Do you know what made him change his mind?" "What?" he asks. "That night, when we almost agreed to close the store because we had reached an impasse in our arguments, I became nauseated and I found out we're having a baby." I smile. "I didn't know then that we were having twins." In the end, that made Derek change his mind, and he suddenly confessed he was sorry he even thought of leaving me behind. He promised to be the best dad, and he was. We both agreed to keep the store and even planned to pass ownership to the twins. And it may come true. After all, Nadine is starting to become interested in trumpets, I tell him happily. Wow, what a story. It must have been hard for you when that happened. It was, I frown. I don't like remembering those times. I don't like remembering the times when Derek was less than perfect. I prefer to recall him the way he was when the twins came, a happy father who doted on his kids and me. I'm happy everything went well and that you were happy before he died. Rory and Nadine are great blessings for the two of you, he replies. They are, I say as I look far away. What's wrong? He asks. Nothing. I just remembered it's only been a year since his death, and the twins had such a short time with him. It's not fair, I reply. He died of kidney disease a year ago, but his battle really lasted 2 years. He was on dialysis for some time, and then after a while, it didn't do anything for him anymore. He needed a transplant, but his kidneys failed before they could find a match. Since then, I've worked harder just so we can survive. Now I'm worried about my son's asthma, and I feel sad whenever I think about losing the store because of my financial issues, I add. The rent and utilities may be expensive, but it still pays for our other expenses. Your son is going to be all right. After I inherit the company, you never have to worry about a single unpaid bill again. I promise you. He comforts me with a hug. Thanks, I say as I pull away. No touching, right? I remind him with a small smile, and he laughs. He unwraps his arms around me as we share grins. We put our hands on the rail and continue to gaze at the breathtaking view in front of us.
Chapter 7. Chris. It's been 4 days since Ellie and her twins moved in with me. Rory and Nadine are always in the barn for they really enjoy hanging out with the horses. Ellie stays at the balcony of our bedroom most of the time because she really enjoys the view. Sometimes she sings and plays the grand piano for us in the living room. She still gives piano lessons to her students, entertaining them at our house. I told her she can take a break from teaching piano, but she insisted. I can see now that Ellie really does work very hard, and she does it with a lot of passion in her heart. Even though her singing gigs have stopped for the most part, she spends a lot of time singing along with the piano when she can. It keeps her voice warmed up, she says. Sometimes when she's busy and has a lot of students, I'm the one who drives the twins to daycare. Rory is such a shy boy, and I find it cute when he misses his mommy from time to time. Nadine is a prankster and quite mature for her age. She shocks me by how much she knows at only 5 years old. I haven't been around kids much, and God knows my relationship with Nathan is more competitive than anything, but it touches me to see how much the twins look out after each other. Dinny acts like such a mother hen, while Rory manfully puts little bugs to the side when she comes across one, so she wouldn't be scared. Today is Saturday, and all of us are free. Maybe it will be an opportunity for the 4 of us to bond. I go to the living room and see the 3 of them sitting on the sofa, watching a kiddie show together. The 3 of them are just so beautiful and precious. Derek was a lucky man. Hey, y'all, I greet them. Oh, hey, come sit with us, Ellie says as she smiles at me. Shh, high five is on, Nadine admonishes. Okay, I guess I'll just go out alone and have ice cream all by myself, I tease. Ice cream, the twins say as they both face me. Now that got your attention. Let's go get some ice cream, I exclaim. The twins scream in excitement, jumping off the couch. All right, go and get your jackets first, Ellie orders, and the kids run to put them on. Jenny, the nanny, follows them. Ellie walks toward me with a smile. What's all this about? She asks. Well, I wanted to spend time with the kids before I take my fiancée out tonight, I reply. Tonight? She asks. One of my friends called and invited me to a fancy party. I told them I'm bringing you with me, I answer. So does going out mean... She questions, but I interrupt her. Yes, practicing being in love and all the other things lovers do. In public. She smiles tentatively as she replies, All right. The kids are running downstairs, excited to get ice cream. I ask Jenny to come with us and help me with something before we head to the ice cream store. 10 minutes later, the kids hurriedly run inside while Ellie quickly follows them. Before I enter, I ask Jenny to buy something I ordered earlier at the mall. I book a ride for her using Uber, and I step inside the ice cream shop right after. "So what flavors are we getting?" I ask the kids. "Chocolate," Rory exclaims. "I want strawberry." Nadine chimes in as well. "Vanilla for me, please," Ellie says. "What are you getting, Chris?" she asks. "I might get cookies and cream," I answer. "I never tasted that before," Rory tells me. "Me too," Nadine adds. "Well, you can each take a spoonful of mine," I say to them, and the kids beam in response. They're really cute kids. The store personnel hands us our ice cream, and we sit by the window as Ellie excuses herself for a minute when someone calls her on the phone. She says it's work-related, so she needs to take it. I stay with the twins as we all enjoy our ice cream. They take a scoop of mine so they can taste the cookies and cream flavor for the first time, and they both love it. Even though I've already tasted the chocolate and strawberry flavors, the kids still feed some to me, and it's the sweetest thing. A couple of minutes later, I see Ellie standing from afar, staring and smiling at us. I wonder what she's thinking. She then walks back and sits with us. Her ice cream's a little melted, but still good. "Mommy, try the cookies and cream. It's good," Rory recommends. "Yeah, Mommy. Give her some, Chris," Nadine orders. "Here, have some, Ellie." I scoop some and feed it to her. So now we're rehearsing. Ellie likes the flavor, too. I get a tissue and wipe the excess ice cream off her mouth, and we both smile. An hour or so later, we head back home. Jenny's waiting by the door as we arrive. "I prepared everything in the bedroom, sir," Jenny informs me. "Thank you," I reply. "What bedroom?" Ellie asks. "Aren't you forgetting something?" "No sex rule," she whispers to me. I laugh. "I'm not likely to forget that, of course," I say to her. "We better get ready for tonight," I add. "You'll find the surprise I have for you in bed." "Right. The party," she replies. "I'll just go and say goodnight to the kids," she adds, going to the kids' bedrooms while Jenny follows her. After an hour, I'm standing by the door, waiting for Ellie to finish getting ready. I look at my watch and realize we still have some time. I won't deny I'm kind of nervous about this, but I know we can both nail our parts at this party tonight. "Nervous? You're just faking it, right?" Jenny comes down smiling as she says, "She's ready, sir." I turn around and see Ellie coming down the stairs. She's wearing the long red dress with the plunging neckline I asked Jenny to buy for her. I can't help but gaze at her, smiling. I can't believe how gorgeous she looks. She might be my fake girlfriend, but I'm definitely attracted to her.
Chapter 8. Ellie. Why did Jenny have to choose this kind of dress? I feel awkward, but I tell myself to pretend I'm performing at a club. I lift my chin up and pretend a confidence I don't feel. "Jenny, are sure I look fine in it?" I ask worriedly. "Yes, ma'am. You look beautiful," she assures me. "I'm sure sir will find you ravishing tonight," she teases. I blush at her comment. Just imagining Chris's eyes all over me makes me feel flustered. What am I even thinking? Get your mind out of the gutter, Ellie. I'm feeling really nervous. Can we pull this off? I finally leave the room to find Chris waiting for me. He's wearing a tailored suit and looking so handsome in it. I wonder if he's planning to wear that on proposal day. He's been wearing casual attire every time we've spent together. I've always found him good looking, of course, but he looks hotter in formal attire. I can't take my eyes off him. Now I'm even more conscious of the way I look. I'm a fake fiancé. This is just a business deal between us, I remind myself, even as I take deep breaths to calm down the butterflies in my stomach. "Hey," he smiles at me charmingly. "You look beautiful," he adds. Gosh, why is my heart beating so fast? "You look dapper yourself, Mr. Watson." I smile at him, making sure I act nonchalant. I can't let my guard down. He's quite the charmer. And if I keep dreaming, I'll end up getting hurt. I can't go through the same pain I did when I lost my husband. "We're here," he announces with a smile at me after a few minutes. Yeah, are you sure we can do this? I ask with hesitation. Yeah, definitely. He looks at me with encouragement. How about we kiss to make it less awkward when we have to do so in public? He jokes. Yeah, sure. Needing no further prodding, he pulls me in and kisses me. Never has a kiss made me feel so amazing. He's a great kisser, and I almost feel a little bereft when he pulls away. I feel so lost afterward. I never expected his kiss to make me feel this way. Should we get going? He asks, with a smile that makes me suspicious if he knows the effect he has on me. Yeah, I respond. If it weren't for that kiss, I would be more nervous, but it definitely made me think of other things. Chris, my man, we've been waiting for you. A good-looking guy greets him as soon as we step foot inside. Caleb, what's up, dude? I stand awkwardly by his side, but he holds my hand firmly anchoring me in place. Before we catch up, you should introduce us to your beautiful date. Caleb smiles as he looks at me. Ellie Parker, I say as I extend my hand. My girlfriend, Chris adds. Since when can Chris Watson get a girl like this? Mark, another friend, pipes in. Excuse? A beautiful girl interrupts me. He doesn't mean it that way. Chris just kind of sucks at picking women. She smiles at me. I'm shy, by the way. I thought rich people were rude, but I guess my judgment was wrong. They all exude warmth and welcome me fully. Ellie, sorry if that came out wrong. Mark apologizes. But don't be ashamed. You're the first girl Chris has introduced to us. He teases. And no wonder he's been keeping you to himself. Sorry to burst your bubble, guys, but this is just pretend. Chris looks genuinely happy, though. I guess he really knows how to act. At least I can stay true to myself despite this pretense, as they seem to genuinely accept me. They may be rich, but they're good people. Nathan, Chris's voice echoes in my ears. Why didn't you invite me? Nathan asks, stepping up to the circle. The woman with him looks at me from head to toe. For the first time tonight, I feel small. Who's this beautiful lady? Nathan asks snidely. I didn't know my brother had a girl. He smirks as he inspects me. Oh, we've been dating secretly for a while now, I explain. Really? Last I heard my brother was still dating. Who was that girl again, Chris? Nathan seems suspicious. I don't know what to do. I feel like he's penetrating me with his stares. You mean that woman who slandered me? Chris butts in angrily. Feel free to leave if you keep messing with my girl, he angrily says. My girl, I like the sound of that. If it was real, maybe I wouldn't feel so alone. My husband's early death really took a toll on me. I wish I could have prepared better for what happened. If I had, I wouldn't always feel this untethered when I encounter something unexpected. Nathan leaves, bringing his fiancée with him. Chris takes me to the porch. Are you okay? He looks worried as he asks. I'm fine, but I feel like your brother suspects us. Should we stop this before everything gets complicated? I say. Don't bother. Everyone buys it. He's probably envious and insecure I might get the inheritance. He laughs. I think he's genuinely happy, and I wish I can see him smile more often. His presence calmed me during the time Nathan was grilling me. He didn't allow me to be embarrassed. He stood by his word. He's certainly different from what I imagined. The playboy who flirts with each female tenant. Now my view of him is changing, but I'm not sure what to feel about it. I should stop my thoughts from going haywire. I can't imagine a genuine us. This is only an agreement, more like a business deal than anything else. I just need to be happy about everything. Hey, come on, smile for me, he prods. Here. I put a contrived smile on my face, but he tickles me until I give in to his antics. He really is a charming guy. I just wish everything will turn out as well as he expects.
Chapter 9, Chris. Everyone bought it. But it helps tremendously that it feels like I'm not pretending at all. I feel so comfortable with her, and I don't know why. I shouldn't overanalyze it. I have all day. Ellie's probably busy with work today. She'll be back later in the evening. I don't have any plans today myself. What should I do? Chris, Rory says, coming up to me. What's the matter, Rory? I caress his messy hair. Chris, are you busy today? Nadine asks, taking the space beside her brother. Not really. Want to spend the day with me? Oh, you have school today. I forgot, I say apologetically. No, Chris, Mommy is busy and the teacher wanted us to bring a daddy for school activities today. Rory adds hesitatingly. Can you be our daddy? It probably took all his guts for Rory to ask, and I can't reject his request. They're charming in their own way. It's not hard to love them. Sure, I'd love to, guys, I answer them with a smile. They look at each other with joy and cheer before they drag me to my feet. Oh, is it today? I ask, their little hands in my lower back as they literally try to push me out the door. Yes, Chris, they say together. Why don't you guys call me Daddy Chris from now on, okay? I tease. It would be cute if they do, but is it too much to ask? Okay, Daddy Chris, Rory says agreeably. It's amazing to hear. I didn't expect them to agree immediately, but I kinda like it. Let me get changed and we'll go, I say. Why don't you two get ready and brush your teeth? I'll see you by the front door in a few minutes. We have some time before you need to be at school today. They rush to get ready and wait patiently as I change into something more suitable for a school affair. In a few quick minutes, I'm holding both twins' hands in each of my own as we stride toward the school's front door. When we arrive, some of the parents seem either shocked or surprised by my presence. I'm guessing Rory and Nadine probably have it hard. It can't be easy not having a father, especially for daddy events like today. Daddy, can you carry me? Nadine asks as we go through the booths their school had set up in the back. So far, the kids are having a lot of fun doing all the various activities with me. There was a potato sack race, a face-painting booth, which resulted in a spiderweb drawing on my face, a beautiful golden fish in Dinny's, and a dinosaur one on Rory's. She's just too cute. I bend down to scoop her up in my arms. What about me, Daddy? Rory adds. I mock groan as I bend over to carry him as well. I'll take you on my shoulders. Nadine can be in my arms. Is that okay? I ask with a smile. Yes, Daddy. I carry both of them, Rory on my shoulders and Nadine in my arms. They're so happy and can barely hold in their giggles when I pretend to drop them. You all right there, Rory? I ask. Yes, Daddy. I'm so tall, he says gleefully. They really are easy to please. One of the assistant teachers comes over to me just as we're getting popcorn to let me know they would like to talk to me. Uh-oh, I hope we didn't do anything wrong. Maybe their mother needs to be here for this. Oh no, it's just a formality. We just like to know each student's parent or guardian. We do this every time we see a new face, she explains. When we reach the administration office for the interview, the principal is already waiting. Good morning, ma'am. I'm here for the interview, I inform her politely. This way, sir, she says. One of the other office staff bends down to talk to the twins, inviting them to play with some of the blocks on the side. I put them both down. Play quietly, okay? I say and kiss them both in the cheeks. I'll be back soon. They nod, smiling. I just hope I can answer the questions properly. Ma'am, I'm ready, I say. It's okay, sir. It appears they're quite fond of you, the woman comments. Yeah, they are, I agree. Today, sir, is for us teachers to know more information about our students. That's why we're doing the interview, she explains. This should probably feel weird, but it feels surprisingly natural for me to stand in as their father figure. I know their father died, So initially, Mrs. Parker was worried Rory and Nadine would have a difficult time adjusting. I also worry about that. It was hard on them when they lost their father, but I love them and it appears they're dealing with it well. I look at the kids who are quietly playing, waiting for me to finish. I also feel you're a responsible and loving father, she smiles. Your presence can only mean good things for them. Children thrive when they know they are loved. You seem to be doing a great job in that aspect. Thank you, ma'am, I say. The interview went on for a few more minutes before she says, I have no more questions, sir. She bids farewell to the twins and we all go back to the car. Want to get some ice cream before we go home? I invite. Yes! They yelp in happiness. I laugh at their antics. I feel like they've really grown on me. I'm surprised to find I love them like my own. I hope these kids won't hate me and won't distance themselves from me after our arrangement. We arrive home and we race toward the door, screaming with excitement. Where have you all been? Ellie asks, coming out. Mommy, Daddy Chris was so cool at school today, Rory exclaims. What do you mean? She asks, perplexed. Wait, Daddy Chris, since when did... Me and Rory want to call Chris Daddy from now on, Nadine explains. Oh, okay, Ellie says. I can see the shock and surprise in her expression. Daddy Chris, so he's like Daddy but different, Nadine explains to me patiently. They speak over each other explaining what happened at school, and I can see Ellie smile at what they're saying. Jenny comes in and brings them up so they can prepare for dinner and bed. See you later, Mommy. See you later, Daddy. When they disappear up the stairs, Ellie says to me quietly, You didn't have to do that. It's the least I can do. Besides, I love them too, I tell her with a smile. She looks at me thoughtfully with a beatific smile on her face. Am I just imagining things? Why do I feel like she's becoming more beautiful each time I see her? Want to grab some dinner? I mean, it doesn't have to be a date or anything, I say awkwardly. She laughs. Yeah, I'd love to, Daddy Chris's, she teases. Come on, I'm lovable, I say laughing. She laughs again. How about I cook for you instead? I say instead. You can cook? She asks, surprised. Yeah, I can. I may be a bachelor, but I'm not spoiled, you know? I smile. What would you like, mademoiselle? I ask, impersonating a French chef. She laughs and playfully swats my arm. I would love anything the chef prepares. How can such a beautiful woman be this amazing? I think I'm falling for her. Her charm, her qualities as a mom. She's not the same as any of the women I've ever met. She doesn't care about money at all. She only thinks about her children. I'm in awe with how she's raised the two kids alone. I want to keep her. And I think my feelings for her have changed. It used to be merely an attraction, but now I'm thinking it could blossom into something more if there's a chance. This isn't just a deal anymore. I'm falling for Ellie Parker, and I don't know what to do about it.
Chapter 10. Ellie. I can't believe how charming Chris is. I thought he was a jerk who pestered me for the rent. It's been a while since my heart skipped a beat, yet I hardly recognize it. Am I falling in love with Chris Watson? This is just an arrangement, but why does he have to be so good to my kids? I'm feeling quite unbalanced right now. The walls I've built around me are slowly crumbling. He knows how to make me weak in the knees. My emotions are unbridled, and I can no longer control them. I may have loved my husband very much, but there's a charm to Chris that my husband didn't have. We both had the same passion and interests, but sometimes I took second place to his music. With Chris, I feel like I'm the first person on his mind. He always puts my comfort first. He gives so much attention to everything I do and want. I'm confused. My mind is contradicting what my heart is feeling. I'm falling for him, and I don't know what to do. Am I just drunk from this wine? Or do I really desire him? Do I want him? Or is it just the alcohol talking? I feel like my heart wants him. My body? probably wants him even more. "The kids are probably asleep by now," he says. Is he thinking what I'm thinking? God, I want him too. "Yeah, they are. They're really, He interrupts me as he pulls me in for a kiss. The softness of his lips makes all the fears and anxieties I'm feeling disappear. I can get lost in the emotion of our kiss. It's intense but passionate and caring at the same time. We're both hungry for each other, but the feeling is more romantic. His kiss feels like it's coming from a guy who wants me in his life. I close my eyes as I savor each kiss we exchange. "Can I?" he asks. I nod in response. I feel like I'm being hypnotized by every action he makes. He brings me to a different room, one separate from the household we've been staying in. We can't resist each other. We kiss until we finally reach the place. He kisses the nape of my neck and caresses my body with utmost care. It doesn't feel like it's just sex. It feels like he's making love to a woman he really loves. But I should stop thinking this way and just stay in the moment. My emotions are going haywire. Every sensation is at its maximum. I feel like I'm getting intoxicated by him. It looks like things are going to get a little too hot in here. And you know what that means? YouTube is putting a stop to it. I know you're tired of these interruptions. But unfortunately, YouTube can stop us from sharing these free audiobooks with you if we violate their guidelines. That's why we keep all the good stuff on Vixa's website, VixAVonRomance.com. To make up for the inconvenience, use code VIXA40 for a 40% discount on all digital products.
I hope you're enjoying this audiobook by Vixa Vaughn. If you want to keep hearing more audiobooks, then please hit that subscribe button and like the video. It may seem insignificant, but the more people that subscribe, the easier it is to produce more audiobooks in the future. So please help us out and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening, and now back to your book.
Chapter 11. Ellie. Did I fall asleep? I remember collapsing. But did we really cuddle afterward? Where is he? Did he leave because he feels we made a mistake? Before I can continue that line of thought, Chris comes in with a tray in his hands. "What's that?" I ask, sitting up and tucking the blanket over my chest and underneath my armpits. "Breakfast in bed," he smiles as he kisses me. I'm speechless. I don't know how to feel and what to do. He's acting quite normally, and I'm feeling even more awkward than I already do. "I'm sorry, but I need to go. I have a meeting at work today," he tells me. "I made you breakfast, but forgive me if I can't enjoy it with you," he adds. "See you later." What have I done? I'm so confused. He shouldn't be acting this way. What we did is against our agreement. No feelings and no attachments. It's supposed to be pretend, a no-strings-attached business agreement. Why is he acting so sweet? I can't deal with this. I can't deny the fact I'm falling in love with Chris. He's the sweetest guy I've ever met, far and away sweeter than Derek ever was. I shake my head and stop myself from pursuing that line of thought. It's not fair to compare the two, especially when one of them isn't here to defend himself. He's amazing, but I just can't. This feels too surreal. He probably thinks this is okay, but we both agree to the rules. It's just a momentary lapse in judgment, which can't happen again. I will make sure it doesn't. I should snap out of it and take a refreshing bath. I still have to tend to my kids. Stop daydreaming, Ellie. After I'm done with bath and breakfast, I bring the tray back to the kitchen and find my kids giddy with excitement. "What's with all the fuss?" I ask. I love my kids to bits, but thinking about what Chris and I did last night, not to mention the repercussions of it, is making my head ache. I feel like I have a hangover from last night. Mommy, Rory says. "Yes, Rory? Where's Daddy Chris?" "I'm guessing he went to work," I say, avoiding their expectant gaze. Jenny looks at me with a suspicious smile. I'm guessing she knows what happened last night. I'm just going to get some water. I'm feeling a bit thirsty, I say. I almost choke on it when Nadine asks, Mommy, are we going to have a baby brother or sister? Where did you get that idea from? I suddenly ask. Because that's what mommies and daddies do, she explains. What do mommies and daddies do, Deanie? Rory asks in puzzlement. I look at Jenny, suspecting she might have told the kids something, but she signals to me that she didn't say. Rory, stop asking that question, I say. Mommies and daddies kiss, Nadine explains. Did Mommy and Daddy Chris kiss? Rory asks. No, we didn't, okay? I attempt to deny. But I saw you and Daddy Chris kiss, Deanie says. I blush at her comment. It was probably a dream, Deanie, I say lamely. Deanie just sighs and shakes her head as they start talking about the school interview Chris did. It's so hard to resist him when my own kids adore him so much. He knows how to take care of my kids and how to handle them. He's very dependable, and he loves the kids as any father would. He's making it really hard for me not to fall for him. I'm quite certain I have feelings for him, but I need to brush them off since this is just supposed to be an impersonal agreement, with no feelings included. I can't deny how attracted I am to him, though. Anyway, I'm sure it's all one-sided. He may care about the kids, but it doesn't mean he cares about me. He's just pretending and is a better actor than most. I should stop analyzing this situation. It's not helping my frame of mind at all. Now I need caffeine before I start work. I should stop dreaming about me and Chris being together. Ma'am, if I may? Jenny butts in. She probably senses my worries. A woman's intuition is really sharp. Yes, I encourage. I think Sir Chris likes you. She smiles. What? I don't like him that way, Jenny, I say defensively, averting my gaze in embarrassment. If you say so, ma'am, she says with a wink. It's supposed to be my day off, but I had to come to the club since the manager asked me to perform a gig tonight. I left the twins in Jenny's capable hands, forgetting to explain where I'm going to her. I just tell her I'll be back soon and that I need to take care of something. I can't refuse since he offered to pay me a lot, and I can't pass up the opportunity to earn more for my kids. I have to save as much as possible so that when everything between me and Chris is done, I'll still have some extra cash to support them. I take the stage and the light blinds me. The audience is just a sea of black. The music starts and I sing my heart out. Every lyric of the song I'm singing hits me. It feels like I'm narrating my feelings for Chris. This one-sided attraction is definitely taking a toll on me. Luckily, I have music. It's a great way to pour out everything I'm keeping inside me. I pour all my emotions into the song, and each lyric gives me a sense of freedom. The song reaches its peak, and I've sung my heart out. Every run and riff happens flawlessly. I sing as if it's the last performance of my life. My performance is a tribute to my late husband. Tonight, I'm letting go of all the emotions that are holding me back. I want to be free from everything. I want to release the past and look forward to the future with my kids. The song fades and I finish my performance. The crowd goes silent for a second before thunderous applause erupts. I feel like a celebrity. It's always the crowd's appreciation that fuels me. The sacrifice is all worth it when I move my audience with the songs I sing.
Chapter 12. Chris. This is a first for me. I'm actually excited to go home. I never thought I'd see the day I'd be rushing home from work to spend time with a woman and her kids. I'm certain that my feelings for Ellie are growing more intensely each day. The first time I saw her at her store, I was amazed and stunned by her beauty. The neighborhood called her the songbird. I mean, who wouldn't? She's beautiful, sexy, and independent. Any guy would come begging for her attention, but I just couldn't when I first heard she was newly widowed and had kids. But I shouldn't have let that stop me. I would have taken things slowly and wouldn't have suggested this agreement if I knew it would end up this way. Her kids are like ice cream. They always manage to cheer me up when I'm stressed or tired. I wonder how it would be to have them beside me all the time, but I know I should stop such imaginings. This isn't part of the agreement at all. Considering how vehemently she emphasized the no touch and no sex rules, I'm lucky she even agreed to go to bed with me last night. I wonder where she is. She's nowhere to be seen. "Jenny!" I shout. "Yes, sir?" she asks. "Where's Ellie?" I ask. "I'm not sure, sir, but she brought stuff for work," Jenny explains. "She says she just has to take care of something." Am I being clingy? I can't be missing her already when it's the first time she's left since she started living here. She's not accountable to me for her actions. She probably just feels grateful for my help. And nothing more than that. It's better if I don't tell her how I feel. "Daddy." "Hey, what's up, kiddos?" I give them hugs. "Come play with us," Rory invites. "No, I want Daddy to teach me how to cook," Nadine argues. "Since when did you know how to cook?" I ask. "When you kissed Mommy," she says matter-of-factly, brushing her hair away from her face. I choke at her response. "Did she see us making out at the kitchen yesterday night?" I was sure they were already asleep. Unsure how to deal with her comment, I try to ignore what she said and distract her. "Okay, I'll teach you to cook, but you have to listen carefully and follow everything I say because you might get hurt, okay?" I instruct seriously. "Okay," she says agreeably. "Me too, Daddy," Rory echoes. "They're treating me like I'm their father. And though I don't see anything wrong with that, I don't know how I'll feel if they disappear from my life. In the short time they've been staying in my house, I've grown quite fond of them." "So what's this, Daddy?" Rory gestures at the vegetable on the table. "That's what you call a carrot," I say. "Don't you eat your veggies, Rory?" I add. "He doesn't because he's a picky eater," Nadine teases. "I am not," Rory retorts. I laugh at their banter. They're young, but are quite witty for their age. "So, what are we going to make?" I ask. "Let's make ice cream," they say in unison. I laugh. "You both really like ice cream, huh?" I look at my stock to see if we can make ice cream. "We probably can, but I need you both to do something for me," I say. "What is it, Daddy?" they both ask. "It's the most important part in making cookies and cream ice cream," I say. "We'll do it, Daddy," Nadine adds. "I'll be a famous chef like that guy in the movies," Rory says. I laugh at their quips. These kids just make my day. "So you have to crush these cookies so we can mix them with the cream, okay?" I say. "Yes, Daddy." They nod, and I can see the eagerness in their eyes. "Let's do this, Rory," Nadine says encouragingly. "They really are adorable. Ellie is amazing for having raised them alone. They're growing up well, and even though they get into scrapes like other kids their age, they respect others. They hit the cookies as hard as they can and make a mess on the table in the process. But I never experienced this when I was a kid. I feel like I'm redoing my childhood with them. I'm doing all the things I've wanted but never got to do. I grew up with no mother, and my dad worked so much he didn't really have time for us. I feel like I can do more for these two." We finish our ice cream while joking around from time to time when my phone rings, interrupting us. I look at the caller and see it's my father. "Hey, Jenny, I have to take this. Can you watch over the kids?" I ask, and she nods, taking my place behind the kitchen counter. I walk away from them and answer the call. "Hello? What took you so long?" Dad demands. "Sorry, busy with work. I just called to remind you of the family reunion this Saturday." "Oh shoot, I forgot about that. After making this arrangement for it, it completely slipped my mind." "You have to be there. You should be more like your brother," he adds. Yeah, whatever, Dad," I say. "The heir of the company should be dependable, a family man. You know that, right, Chris?" He scolds me again. "Yes, Dad, I know," I sigh. When will you introduce me to someone who's wife material, son? He asks. About that, Dad, I'll be introducing you to this amazing woman I'm dating, I say. I'm bringing her with me to the reunion. It's not that I'm lying. She really is amazing. If everything was real, that is. I'd love to hear more about her, son, Dad exclaims. You should bring the kids to come meet me next time. Yeah, I'm excited for you to see her, Dad. She's beautiful and charming. I'm sure you'll love her too, I say. That's good to hear, son. I can't wait to meet her during the reunion, Dad tells me before ending the call. Afterward, I'm embroiled in a mix of feelings. Excitement that Dad will finally meet Ellie, but sadness at the inevitable end of our agreement. I can't just let it end like this, but I agreed to a business arrangement. No feelings involved. I wonder if she's able to remain as impartial as I need to.
Chapter 13, Ellie. Chris? I ask. Yeah? What do I need to pack for the reunion? I'm really nervous. I totally forgot we made this arrangement to present a romantic front at the reunion, where he's planning to propose and display a stable life so he can get the company. What if his dad acts the same way as his brother? I can't face that again. Don't worry about it, okay? He smiles. Just bring anything, though you should probably include swimwear, he suggests. Why swimwear? I ask. The reunion will be in our private beach house. You'll probably want to go swimming at some point, he says. Let's just enjoy it while we're at it, okay? Stop worrying about nothing, he adds again. Okay. I nod and brush off my worries. Ever since the day we slept together, we've been awkward with each other, even though we're quite close now. We haven't talked about it, and it's better this way. I'll be gone for a few days, and I'm worried about leaving the kids that long. I wonder if they'll be okay without me. They've never slept a single night away from me since they've been born. They'll be fine, Ellie. We can leave anytime we want if something goes wrong, okay? He tries to assure me. I don't know what it is about him, but he always knows how to calm my anxieties. Hey, kids. I'll be gone for some time, so behave, okay? I warn. Yes, Mommy. Rory and Nadine nod in agreement. Daddy, take care of Mommy, or else. Rory gestures with his small hands. Chris laughs. Yes, Rory, I will, he says, ruffling his hair. Don't worry. Next time we'll be sure to bring you two on a nice family vacation. We will call you every night. The twins give him a big hug before turning to me and bestowing the same. My chest feels tight at just how much we seem like a family. I can't deny how lucky I would be to have Chris if this whole relationship was genuine. I kiss them goodbye, and Chris does too. He probably feels attached to them by now. He spent a lot of time with them without me. I wonder how he feels about it all. My confusion hasn't disappeared. The intense emotions are like a roller coaster ride, with many ups and downs. I just wish I know where I stand. The stupid arrangement makes things worse, and I feel so conflicted. The biggest fear I have is that he might think I'm only having these feelings because of everything he's doing for me. What if he thinks I love him because he's taking care of our money troubles? I wouldn't be able to bear that. He drives us to the airport, but turns to a private tarmac. What are we doing here? I say in shock as I behold the private jet awaiting us. It's a surprise. I rented us this so we can have more privacy, he says. What does he mean by privacy? Boarding a private jet is a first for me. It feels so luxurious and indulgent. Never, in my wildest dreams, did I expect to have this experience. I'm incredibly touched by Chris's gesture, and I relish the comfort of the lush seats and the amazing view. The beach stretches with the whitest sand I've seen. Its azure blue waters are as clear as crystal. He gestures for me to go down, and I hold his arm to keep our pretense going. He introduces me to an older man as soon as we step foot in the resort. He's definitely Chris's father. They look the same, Their face shape, the color of their eyes, and the outline of their jaws are identical. I know I'm looking at the way Chris will look in a few more decades. I can feel his father's eyes roaming over me. His scrutiny makes me a little uncomfortable, but I politely greet him regardless. "Good morning, sir." I try to shake his hand, but he happily welcomes me with open arms. He welcomes me into the venue. "How did you meet such a beautiful girl, son?" he asks with a twinkle in his eye. "By luck, Dad. I must have the best luck meeting her." He smiles at me. Is this pretend? Despite his remarks, the reaction he gives seems real and not fake. "Actually, I met her because of you." "Oh?" his dad asks, intrigued. "She owns Music and More, that music store in the complex we bought a year ago?" "What? And you never said anything?" "We took things quite slowly because we wanted to be sure of our feelings for each other first," he says seriously. "But now, things have changed, and this is the perfect opportunity." He puts his arm around my waist in a gesture of possession. I'm definitely his. For now. I can see Nathan look at us. His face is smug and annoyed. What did we do now? Chris stays by my side as we bid farewell to his father. "Let's leave our bags in our room. Then I'll give you a tour," he offers, smiling. He carries my bag like a gentleman and ushers me to a beautiful room with an amazing view of the grounds. I can see the whole beach from here. "How'd you wind up with the best bedroom?" I ask. "I've always loved this place, and when we were kids, I staked this room out for my own," he says. It's smaller than Nathan's, so he thought he was putting one over me? But the view surpasses his by far. It's quite calming. "Yes, I know how you feel," I agree as I take in the breathtaking view. "This is definitely my happy place," he says. I look at him and catch him smiling at me as I take in the scenery. "Sorry, I just got lost in all this," I say, blushing at his stare. "It's okay. Your beauty rivals the view," he smiles. I'm embarrassed by his frank comment, averting my gaze to look at the birds gliding through the air. Am I acting like a woman in love? Damn it, get your head straight, Ellie. He suddenly hugs me from behind, nuzzling me by the side of the neck. I'm about to react when he whispers, "Don't move, my dad is looking." Well, who am I to complain? I might as well admit I've been wanting to experience his caresses again. Luckily, I forgot we're sharing a room tonight. I would have been incredibly nervous, and it would have added to my anxieties. He kisses me on the cheeks. Stop overthinking and just enjoy the moment. He's right. I should enjoy this experience while it lasts. It may be pretend, but I'll just have to cherish what I have and deal with the fallout once it's over. I know I'm going to get hurt in the process. I'm not sure how he feels, but one thing is for sure, I'm definitely in love with him.
Chapter 14. Chris, what an amazing day I got to spend with Ellie. I know we've avoided talking about what happened that night, but despite that, or maybe because of it, we've become more emotionally intimate with each other. And we've somehow become closer because of it. We spend the day frolicking in the sand and taking advantage of all the activities available. Away from the scrutiny, she's so much more relaxed and open, asking me about my likes and dislikes, encouraging me to share my past. In return, she told me more about her life with her husband. How, even though she loved him, and he loved her, he felt a little removed from them. Like he had his own world she could never touch. He was a great dad, of course, but a little removed. His head was always in the clouds, composing songs he could never play to a live audience again. I felt a little sorry for the three of them when I heard that. But still, I think they were lucky to have had each other. Pretending isn't so hard anymore. I told myself to give in to my feelings and act the way I would if this was real. I think the plan is a success, I declare. I'm not so sure about Nathan, she cautions. Have you seen the way he looks at me? She adds. Don't worry about it. I think he's only envious and worried about his chances now that I have a girlfriend of my own, I say. I'm scared of what he'll do if he finds out the truth, she emphasizes. Yeah, I frown at her. I don't think my feelings for her are just affection. I'm definitely in love with her. I'm disappointed when she talks about our agreement and when she keeps emphasizing the rules we set. It lets me down and serves as a harsh reminder when she mentions the pretense we're under. I know it was my mistake for suggesting this arrangement in the first place, but somehow I feel like even if I declare myself, I'll still end up losing her. Besides, if I didn't come up with this plan, we wouldn't have gotten to know each other, and we wouldn't be in this position. Together. I realize that I want her in my life. I want Rory and Nadine to keep calling me Daddy. I want to see her beautiful smile every time her kids cheer her up. I want to see her accepted by my family. For real, this time. I want to be part of everything that happens in her life. Ellie, I say, what's with the serious look? She sits up as if sensing I'm about to confess my feelings to her. She's always quick to avoid talking about anything serious, and I wonder if she thinks about how I feel toward her. Where are you going? I ask. I'm going to get some fresh air, she says. Wait, don't. I hold her back. What, Chris? She turns abruptly and I catch her off guard, giving her a soft peck on the lips. What are you doing? No one's watching. I butt in. I like you, Ellie, I admit in a weak voice. What? She's surprised. Her whole body has stilled. I love you, Ellie Parker. I've been, I stutter. I've loved for a while now, I say. That... I interrupt her again. Just listen to what I have to say, please. I look at her, and she's quiet. I know she understands how hard it is for me to admit all this when I suggested this arrangement in the first place. I've admired you for a long time, Ellie. But now that I know you better, it's grown into love. I wanted to keep it all to myself, but I can't imagine you leaving me. I can't bear it if I no longer see you and the kids, I add. Chris, you're probably just confused, she says. No, Ellie. I'm more than certain about what I'm feeling. I come closer to her. I initially didn't even want to tell you about it because I didn't want you to feel forced to reciprocate my feelings. I know we made this arrangement, but I want so much more than that. I want you. I want the kids. I want to be with you for real. She doesn't flinch nor back down. I touch her face, trailing the outline of her jaw. I tuck a strand of her hair behind her ear. We can't, Chris, she says. I can feel the emotion in her words. She probably feels the same way, but she still doesn't believe me. Ellie, please believe me when I say I love you, I plead. I kiss her lips, pouring the emotions I've kept in my heart until now. She kisses me back and caresses my nape. I'm confused, Chris, she says. What do you mean? I hold her waist to kiss her again. I'm confused about whether I have feelings for you, or I'm just grateful for your help, she explains slowly. I do feel affection for you, and sometimes I do think I love you, but I want to be sure. I don't want to get my heart broken again. Trusting a man and thinking I know him, but then having him turn away from me. Her words are like music to my ears. I don't even hear the rest of her words, only the, I do think I love you. I give her a hard kiss this time, showing her how much I want her. I sit down at the edge of the bed, and she climbs on top of me. We make out, our hands roaming all over each other's body. Whoa, it's getting pretty heated, and this platform is putting a stop to it. It sucks, we know, but if we want to continue bringing these free audiobooks to you, then we have to abide by the rules and guidelines, so just bear with us. To apologize for the interruption, get 40% off any digital products, including this audiobook with code VIXA40 when you go to vixavonromance.com. Back to the story.
Chapter 15. Ellie. I can't believe it. Chris feels the same way I do. I thought it was all just a dream, but waking with him cuddled beside me confirms that what happened last night was real. "Hey," Chris says. "Hey," I say back. "Are you okay? Are you sore?" he says. He really does care for me. He kisses me and stands up when I say no. "I think I need to take a bath," he says. "Can I come with you?" he asks, smirking. I can see him hardening at his words. Of course, I agree with a seductive smile. I pull him into the bathroom with a kiss. He turns on the shower, waiting for a few seconds to test whether it's in the right temperature. He smiles again, rubbing my back to massage all the stress away. "What are we doing today?" I ask. "Something in a yacht," he says, "and that something is too hot for this platform to handle, so you'll have to get it in the unabridged version of this audiobook at BWWM.romance.com. Use code VIXA40 to get 40% off and enjoy." Technically, we're still faking the history of our romance, but the feelings are true this time. We both love each other, and that's what matters. "Babe, I'm getting more food. You want some?" I ask him. "I'm good." He smiles and kisses me. I'm so happy, yet I'm quite famished too. I haven't had breakfast because of the amazing love making, and I can't wait to dive into the spread in the yacht. "Hey," a familiar voice sounds behind me. "Yes?" It's Nathan. What does he want this time? "Oh, it's you, Nathan. I'm sorry I didn't..." He interrupts me. "I know what you and Chris are doing," he says. Wait, is the show over? Does he really know? No, I must keep up the pretense. He could be fishing. Stop joking around, Nathan. I know you and Chris are not on good terms, but I really don't know what you're talking about, I say innocently. I have to go. Chris is waiting for me. I try to skitter back. I hate conflict, especially one that will only arouse suspicion. I can't let Chris's dream fail. I want to support him no matter what. Nathan suddenly grabs my hand and I flinch in pain. "What are you doing?" I demand. "Leave and I'll expose the truth." He shows me a video of me singing on his phone. "Where did you get that?" I say angrily. "It's amazing how clever both of you are. I was in this amazing club, and look what I found," he says gleefully, playing the video. What do I do now? I need to tell Chris about this. "If you don't want me to expose you, I'll make you a deal," he invites. "A deal?" I repeat. "What kind of deal?" I ask suspiciously. "If you break it off with him and leave, I'll let you get away with it," he says. What? I can't just let Chris down. And if I don't fulfill my part of the bargain, Chris won't pay off my debts or pay Rory's bills. I'll be right back where I started. I love him, and he loves me. I can't bring him down with me. I need to face this alone because I brought this down on us. If only I didn't go to the club that night. "What would you get from all this, Nathan?" I hiss. "Because if it weren't for you, everything would have been mine already," he snarls. "You're such a cruel brother. Even if you don't inherit the company, you still have all the money you need," I say. "Yes, but I want to be head honcho. This is what you get for messing with me," he says arrogantly. "If my dad finds out you're a singer, he won't approve of your relationship anyway. He hates singers with a passion. Didn't Chris tell you that's what our mother was? My rage and anger are at its limits, but I can't slap him or do anything to him. Who am I? I'm just a nobody. I can't keep dragging Chris down." Nathan's words also send a shiver down my spine. No wonder Chris asked that we keep my job a secret. At the time, I didn't think it meant anything other than it being an indication that I'm not as well off as he wants me to seem. "I hope you'll be happy with yourself and your new riches, Nathan," I say. "I don't know how you'll sleep at night." I am, he says. I'll consider your deal, but give me a chance to think, I say. Think fast, he says before he disappears into the crowd. I have to consider this. I love Chris so much, and I can't let all his efforts go to waste. He's already done so much for me. He wants this badly, and I love that I'm in a position to fully support him. I know this is for my son's medical expenses, but I can find more work to pay for them. If Nathan reveals I'm a singer, I think it would be worse for Chris. He would be breaking his dad's heart all over again. Why does life have to be so unfair? Wait, am I crying? I can't let anyone see me. I run to the powder room and cry to my heart's content. I need to retouch my makeup. I'm such a mess right now. I thought everything would be fine from now on. We've revealed our feelings for each other and are just beginning to enjoy it. But now another problem occurs. I just don't know what to do anymore. I feel so useless and naive for thinking everything will go smoothly from now on. Why did this have to happen? I go back to Chris's side, and he caresses my waist. Are you all right? He asks. Yeah, just some allergies making me teary-eyed, I say dismissively. Want me to get medicine? He says out of concern. No worries, babe. I kiss him. Why does it have to turn out this way? If I don't break his heart, he would have broken his dad's, and I don't know if I can live with that.
I hope you're enjoying this audiobook by Vic Savon. If you want to keep hearing more audiobooks, then please hit that subscribe button and like the video. It may seem insignificant, but the more people that subscribe, the easier it is to produce more audiobooks in the future. So please help us out and subscribe to our channel. Thank you for listening, and now back to your book.
Chapter 16. Chris, did something happen? Ellie has been acting strange since she came back from getting food. I've noticed that when Ellie is disturbed, she avoids my gaze. I can't help but worry. She's been distant and silent the rest of the yacht ride. She disembarks ahead of me, and I notice she's avoiding me. Ellie, what's wrong? I say, holding her hand. Nothing's wrong, Chris, she jerks out of my grasp. I pull her into a secluded corner. Tell me what's wrong, I insist. She doesn't say anything. You've been avoiding me since you came back from the buffet table, I add. She still doesn't utter a word. Did you cry? I ask. Did Nathan bully you again? I'm going to... She interrupts me looking sad and heartbroken. Chris, I can't do this anymore. What are you saying, Ellie? I can't do this deal anymore. Let's stop, she says. What? I say in anger. What about what happened last night? Was it all a joke? I demand. Yes, I was pretending, she screams at me. I don't believe you. Look me in the eye and tell me you don't love me, Ellie, I urge. She doesn't. You can't do it, can you? I challenge. Just tell me what the hell is going on, Ellie, I repeat again. She cries in front of me, and I wonder what happened. I don't want to see her this way, but I can't help her unless I know what's wrong. I want her to be happy, and I won't give up because of her uncertainty. I love her so much, and I don't want this to get messed up because of a simple misunderstanding. There's nothing wrong, Chris. I just don't want to continue this deal anymore, she mutters. Rage and anger flare up inside me, and I'm so frustrated and at a loss. Why is she being this way? If this involves Nathan, I'm going to punch that bastard. Ellie, I say, but she walks off and leaves me behind. I punch the wall out of frustration. What did I do wrong? I thought we were doing great. She's the only girl who's ever made me feel this way. I thought everything will go smoothly since we've confirmed our feelings for each other. But this is just as frustrating as not knowing. She's not the kind of person who'd change her mind all of a sudden. She's a strong and independent woman. She supported her kids alone. It may be hard, but she did it alone. I want to know what happened in that yacht. I see Nathan walking toward me, and he says with a smirk, "Having love problems?" "Who said?" I sarcastically reply. "Oh, I thought it was obvious. You guys looked so serious," he mentions. "Did you do something, Nathan? I'm not guilty of anything, Chris. What's he hinting at? Does he know something I don't? I feel like there's more going on. If you did something to her, I'm gonna wreck your face," I threaten before walking out in a rage. Seeing Ellie acting that way breaks my heart. I need to fix this, and I need to know what the problem is. I can't lose her no matter what. I myself suffered trauma when my mom left. But when Ellie came into the picture, it was different. She loved me less when I had money. She wasn't even comfortable with the money I wanted to pay her. All she cared about was attention. Her children are amazing, too. They made me realize how much I want to have my own family. No more goofing around and playing with women. Now I enjoy staying home even during Friday nights. I prefer to spend time with Ellie and her kids. They may not be my own flesh and blood, but I care sincerely about them. Their smiles when I give them ice cream, and the fun times we shared during cooking lessons make me the happiest man on earth. I don't regret that I agreed to this arrangement. If I hadn't, I wouldn't have realized how amazing Ellie is. The only thing I regret is making stupid rules and complicating everything. But we made it through all that. I've overcome my fear and realized I want to be in her life, not just because of this deal, but because of what we feel toward each other. Why am I even thinking about this? Am I really going to lose her? No, I need to do something. I can't just stand by and let her go. If she's hurting inside, then I want to share that pain. I want to share everything she's experiencing. I want to ease her pain. If loving her means giving up the inheritance, then I will with no hesitations. I now realize I love her so much I'm willing to give up everything. Screw this arrangement. I want to know what's worrying her. I don't want to see her cry anymore. I need to fix this. I can't give up on her. And I definitely can't give up on us.
Chapter 17. Ellie. I can't drag Chris through this. I know he loves me, but I don't want him to go through the same pain I'm feeling right now. I don't want to break his heart, but this is the only way for everything to go smoothly. He's totally different from what I expected. He loves me despite my complicated life. He's different from my late husband, but in a good way. My husband was really passionate about his craft, but to the point that he forgets he has a family. That's probably one of the reasons I missed him while he was gone. But handling the twins alone wasn't such a big adjustment. I've changed their diapers and done everything for 2 years before he left us. I know now how much stronger my feelings are for Chris. Despite this thing with Nathan, I'm willing to sacrifice everything for him. I know it's better this way, and it's best I solve this on my own. Chris already has too much on his plate. I can't be an additional burden. We're worlds apart, and his family can't accept me with all my past. If only I'm not so desperate for money, I wouldn't have worked that night at the club. Then we wouldn't be in this position. Why did this have to happen just when we already confessed our feelings to each other? I can't face Chris again, or my knees will go weak. His expression killed me. He looked so devastated, so hurt, yet still filled with concern for me. He's so understanding and patient, and he doesn't deserve any of this. He's the perfect man for me, and I know I can't love any other man after this. He's patient, caring, and most importantly, he loves me and my kids unconditionally. His eyes glow when he's with my kids. He treats Nadine and Rory like they're his own children. I probably fell in love with him earlier than I realized. I was just so caught up with this deal and I got so scared. I deprived myself of my own happiness. Now that we've clarified our feelings for each other, another problem arises. Why? Why does Nathan have to do this? Is the inheritance really such a big deal? Why am I even asking? Even Chris was willing to propose an arrangement like this just because of that dang inheritance. It's probably a blessing in disguise we fell in love with each other. I feel like crying, and I can't let anybody see me like this, or they'll suspect Chris did something. I can't ruin his plans. He's too important to me. I really feel horrible, and I can't face anyone right now. Great. Nathan just has to come over here. Ellie, there you are, he says triumphantly. What do you want, Nathan? I say in annoyance. Is that the right tone you should be making right now? He asks. I would have been able to handle his sarcasm, but he just had to bring his wife with him. I don't say anything, but he adds, So, have you finally decided, Ellie? No. Nathan's wife butts in before I can finish. I've seen you somewhere before, she says. At the club. Nathan looks annoyed with his wife. No, I've seen her somewhere else before, she repeats. You've probably mistaken me for someone else, I say dismissively. I try to escape from their grasp when she suddenly says, At the summer camp. I was a teacher at summer camp. You were a widow and you had children, she exclaims. Oh, this is just amazing, Nathan says triumphantly. I just had to ruin Chris's plans. Did I just give them more ammunition to use against Chris? Why am I such a burden to him? He would have been better off not loving me. Then I'd be the only one with my heart broken. Nathan laughs. You still have doubts, Ellie? I don't say anything. You do know Dad won't accept your past? He adds again. I say nothing, biting my lip. Why so quiet? Are you considering denying everything? He taunts. I can take all the criticism and hate, but I can't accept their casual dismissal of my life, my kids included. Anger flares up inside me. I want to punch Nathan and wipe that smug look off his face. You can go screw yourself, Nathan, I say angrily. Oh, this is just great, he suddenly says in a loud voice. We both turn to look at the reason for his outburst, and we see Chris also enter the room. Nathan, I whisper to him. Too late, Ellie. Look who's here. It's Chris. He smirks. What are you doing with Ellie, Nathan? Chris comes rushing toward us. Stay there, brother. I have something to announce to everyone, he warns. He's like a villain out of a movie. Despicable. My tears start to form, and my vision turns cloudy. Dad, I am proud to say your beloved son Chris is a fake, he announces with a laugh. His laughter echoes around the room, and he adds, Ellie is nothing but a fake too, just a cheap tramp who he paid to pretend to be his girlfriend. Take that back, Nathan, Chris warns. I can see anger and fire in Chris's eyes. He's infuriated. He's interrupted when his dad says, Explain yourself, Chris. Is this true? Is Ellie nothing but a hired woman? You failed me, son. I just can't. Chris shouts, No! What the hell is he doing?
Chapter 18. Chris. I can't believe Nathan would do this. Despite the fight between us, I thought he would act better than this. He's really nothing but a jerk. My anger and temper have already passed its limits. He just had to call Ellie cheap. If Ellie is cheap, then everybody else is nothing but trash. You failed me, son. I just can't. I don't care anymore whether I'm a failure or an embarrassment. The moment my dad starts to express his disappointment, I interrupt him. No. Are you still attempting to deny everything after what I just said, Chris? Nathan scoffs. No, I'm not denying anything. I pant to calm myself down. I'm guilty exactly as you say, but I did it for... I stutter when I see Ellie rushing out of the hall. I can't lose her. Not anymore. I don't care about the inheritance, and I'm happy with my life with Ellie. I did it for you, Father, I say. I hurt Ellie so you won't be disappointed in me, I add in frustration. I know you don't want us to go through the same thing you did, which is why I created this whole charade. She's the most amazing woman I've ever met, and I can't lose her. Call me a failure all you want, but I'm following my heart this time. I look at him. She's a singer and a damn good one at that. Mom broke your heart. She broke mine too. But not all singers are bad. Ellie is one of the best. The best mom. the best singer, the best future wife I could ever ask for. I love you, but I can't live the life you wish you had for you. Nathan, I pity you. You only think about money, even at the expense of hurting somebody innocent, I say. I interrupt his protests. You can have the company, Nathan. I give up. I love Ellie more than the company, I say again. I look at my father. I can see his eyes looking down, and I can't read his expression. I brush it off for now. I need to look for Ellie. I look back at the stunned crowd and see Nathan grinning at his win. Do I regret giving up the inheritance? No. Ellie is worth it. I leave and search for her frantically, ending up in our room and seeing a sobbing Ellie packing her things to go home. I can't let her leave. If she does, I'm going too. Ellie, I say in a soothing voice. What are you doing here, Chris? She says while shoving all her things inside her bag. You shouldn't be here and just... I hug her. I gave up the inheritance, I say. What? She yelps. I can't lose you, Ellie, I tell her. This is my fault! No, Ellie, I gave up the inheritance because you and your kids are more important to me. I hug her tighter this time. But... I interrupt her. No buts, except next time, can you please tell me if something is bothering you? Don't take me by surprise again. Her tears are falling down her cheeks. I rub her back as she cries to release her tension. I don't want to see her this way again. Seeing her sad and down just eats me up inside. I prefer to see her smiling and happy. Her smiles that light up the room, her laughter as she plays with her kids, her giggles when her kids catch her doing something she's not supposed to. I want to spend the rest of my life basking in those. Can you please tell me what happened, Ellie? I ask. We sit down and she narrates everything that happened. I now realize she's been doing everything for me, and not for herself. She'd rather break up with me than lose what she thought I wanted. But she got it wrong. Without her, the inheritance would mean nothing to me. Even if I got the inheritance, I would have winded up resenting it. She's the only thing that makes my life worth living. The happiness and enjoyment I experienced with her kids were genuine and real. I adore them. I can't lose them for an inheritance, no matter how big. But what's bothering me is what she said. Did you say camp counselor, Ellie? I ask. Yes, she watched my kids when they went school camping, she says. She looks confused and bothered by my statement. It's suspicious that when Nathan introduced her to the family, he said she was a hotel heiress. Is he lying? Did he do the same thing I did? I can't pass this up. He embarrassed Ellie in front of everyone. I want to make him feel the same way. I definitely know he's faking his marriage. I'm not the only disappointment in this family. He deserves to be beaten at his own game. I smile and look at Ellie. Come with me back to the main lobby, I say. What? She asks. I thought you said... She begins tearing up again. She probably thinks I still haven't given up on the inheritance. I have, but I can't let Nathan get away with what he did to my Ellie. It's not what you think, Ellie. I smile at her. Then I don't want to go back, she says. Just trust me on this, please, I say. She looks bothered and confused by my statement, but I insist on bringing her to the lobby anyway.
Chapter 19. Ellie. I don't get why Chris seems so happy about what I just said. Is there something I don't know? I feel so confused and bothered right now, but he just asked me to go back with him. It's already embarrassing to show my face around his family and relatives. They probably think I'm after his money. If only Chris didn't persuade me to return. What are you doing back here again, Chris? Nathan demands. And you brought your fake girlfriend with you, he adds with a smirk. This is really a mistake. I shouldn't have come back. I should have left already, but Chris is holding my hand. His touch is reassuring to me. Ellie is not my fake girlfriend. She is my girlfriend, Chris declares. My heart fills with joy upon hearing those words. He knows exactly how to make me happy and secure. He really is the perfect guy for me. I came here to say something to Nathan, Chris informs the crowd. I look at him in puzzlement. Chris, what are you doing? I whisper to him. He doesn't answer, just squeezes my hand tighter. I'm calling your wife a fake, Nathan, he says. Everyone gasps at the revelation. I can feel the stare turn from us to Nathan and his wife. Just because I said Ellie is a fake doesn't mean my wife is. Nathan stutters. I can see that Nathan is rattled. Is it true? How did Chris know? Then prove to us that she's a hotel heiress, Chris challenges. What? But she was a camp counselor. I stop when I suddenly understand why Chris is smiling. Nathan also made the same arrangement as Chris and I. What are you saying? Don't slander my wife, Ellie, Nathan says. Everybody is becoming more convinced. The way he's acting proves he's guilty. He's sweating so much he's talking nonsense. I'm disappointed in both of you, Chris's dad says. I hold Chris's arm to show him I'm by his side through all this. I slowly turn to Chris's dad. I'm sorry you feel that way, Mr. Watson, but you shouldn't be disappointed in Chris. He loves you so much. He understands exactly what you went through when your wife left you, and he did his best to make you happy. But you should remember, your wife didn't just leave you. He left your sons too. I go over to him and hold his hand. I know you don't want your sons to make a mistake the same way you think you made a mistake, but they won't, because they have you. Chris's dad is looking up at me with wet eyes. I have kids, I'm a singer, and I'm a widow, but I love your son more than anything else in the world. It's true this all started as a business arrangement. Let me tell you, I didn't expect to fall in love with him. But I did. He's an amazing man. My children adore him. I look at Chris, who takes my other hand in his. And so do I. The hall is silent until Nathan's wife says, "Let's stop the pretense, shall we?" I don't love Nathan. If not for the money he's paying me, I wouldn't have agreed to pose as his wife. I have my own boyfriend, and I'm done with this. She walks out with Nathan running after her. This is a mess, his dad mutters. Dad, if Mom hurt you in the past, please don't compare Ellie to her, Chris pleads. I can see his dad's face turn sad. He probably still loves his wife despite the hurt he endured from her departure. Ellie is different. She loves me even if I have no inheritance, and I want you to believe she's not like Mom, Chris adds. I love her so much, Dad. I'm hoping you can accept her, he says. The things Chris says shows how much he cares and thinks about me. I can feel his sincerity, and I know how right he is for me. Ellie, he says, looking at me, you will be the only woman in my heart, and I want to spend the rest of my life with you, he declares, getting down on one knee and opening a box. Is this really happening? I can't believe it. I know we already confirmed our feelings, but I can't believe Chris is proposing to me. My tears start welling up. I can't seem to answer, but I nod as he encircles me in his arms. Is that a yes? He asks. Yes, definitely, I say. I love you so much, Chris, I cry as I'm engulfed with happiness at his proposal. Cheers fill the room and some of his relatives rush to congratulate us. His declaration of love for me convinces everyone this is happening for real. Son, his father comes to us. I can't apologize enough for my failures as a father. I've been so hurt by what your mother did. I neglected you and your brother, he says. I was so busy chasing money, I never showed you how much the two of you mean to me. I can see his father getting more emotional. I'm thankful you met such a beautiful lady. I'm happy you stuck by my son, despite the situation, Ellie, he says with a smile. Welcome to the family, Ellie, he says, opening his arms for a hug. I can't wait to meet those twins of yours, he adds. Chris, I believe you're the right person to inherit the company, so I'm leaving it to you. I can see a glimpse of a smile in Chris's face. Are you sure, Dad? If you could take responsibility for what you did, how much more for the company? I'm proud of you, son. His dad smiles and gives him a pat in the back. Chris screams with excitement. Did you hear that, Ellie? He asks. Yes, Chris. I laugh at his genuine happiness. You're my lucky charm, Ellie, and I love you more than anything else. He hugs and kisses me on the lips. He may act childish, but the feelings I have for him are unconditional. He made me realize I need other people. He assured me that I'm not alone and that I can count on him. He's such an amazing guy, and I can't wait to live the rest of my life waking up beside him. I can't wait for us to have a child of our own. He hugs me harder before he whispers, "Can't wait for you to be mine." How charming can he be? Chapter 20. Ellie. After all the stressful wedding preparations, it's finally our wedding day. I'm feeling the jitters. I wouldn't have survived the preparations if not for Chris. He was very supportive, and he was by my side all the way. This is the best day of my life. This may be my second time, but Chris holds a special place in my heart. Of course, I'm thankful for my first husband. He gave me 2 beautiful and amazing children. Everything that happened led to this day. Chris helped me realize that life is full of unexpected surprises, some good, some not so good. This is definitely good. Who would have thought I'd fall for the guy who asked me to pretend to be his fake girlfriend? Life really is surprising. I can't be thankful enough for what happened between us. It made us stronger and let us see each other in a different light. I'm amazed by how excited I am to spend the rest of my life with my kids and Chris. You may now kiss the bride, the priest proclaims. Chris lifts my veil and kisses me. Everybody cheers, and I can see his father smiling so happily at us. During the reception, we see Nathan with his date, a guy, and he's looking happier than we've ever seen him. Congratulations, Nathan smiles as he comes up to us. Thanks, Chris says, shaking his hand. I don't say a thing, not because I'm angry, but I'm just not sure how to react after all the things that happened. Ellie, I'm sorry for what happened between us, he says. It's okay, Nathan, I stutter in reply. I really am sorry for what I did, but thanks to that, I finally found someone who loves me the way you love Ellie. He smiles as he gestures to the guy beside him. He introduces him to us and bids us farewell as we greet the other guests. I'm happy that after the family reunion, everybody is getting along better. I guess things turned out for the better. I get to keep my store, and Chris is very supportive of it. He's a bit busy managing the company, but he's able to balance his time with us. Daddy, Rory screams. What's wrong, baby? He asks. Mommy is sick. Rory looks like he's about to cry. Are you okay, babe? Chris looks worried. I'm fine. I've just been feeling nauseated for some time now, I say. Jenny, do you know what's wrong with Ellie? He asks with concern. I think Jenny is interrupted by Nadine, who comes rushing in. Mommy, the doctor is here, she says. I look confused since I didn't call any. Sorry, I already called a physician to check on Miss Ellie, Jenny explains. It's fine, Jenny. That would make me feel better, Chris says. Chris explains to the doctor how I'm feeling. I've had experience with these symptoms before. The last time was when I was having Rory. Of course, I haven't confirmed my suspicions, but I guess the physician will after this visit. The doctor checks on me, and everyone is quiet as they wait for his findings. Doc, is everything all right? Chris asks. You seem a bit serious, he adds. The doctor smiles. Everything is fine, sir. You should take better care of yourself, ma'am, he adds. I guess my hunch is wrong. I'm probably just overstressed with the store. Congratulations are in order, though, the doctor adds again. What? I can see the ecstatic look in Chris's eyes. Are you sure? He asks in excitement. I'm sure, the doctor confirms with a nod. The room fills with excitement and laughter, but Rory seems sad. What's wrong, baby? I ask. Chris comes near him and cradles him. What's wrong, little guy? Chris asks. Mommy won't have time for me anymore, he says as he's about to cry. I won't be the baby. Come here, Nadine. Chris hugs both of them. Nobody is getting replaced, he says. I love you all equally, and I'll play with you all the time. Chris smiles. Nothing will change just because there's a new baby. He kisses Rory's and Nadine's cheeks. I really married a great guy. I was worried about how he would accept my kids in the beginning, but I'm happy I was wrong. He loves them unconditionally, and now that I'm pregnant, I'm happy he will love them all. I can't wait to see what other surprises this life will give us. Chris is an amazing guy. He knows how to make me feel loved and cared for, despite his busy schedule. After that, we have a family dinner. His father comes, and Nathan too brings his boyfriend. We share the news with them, and everybody is ecstatic about it. I used to think Nathan was rude and cruel, but lately I've seen a different side to him. His smile and laughter are genuine, and he's been enjoying playing with Rory and Nadine lately. Chris's father also changed after the reunion. He seems more relaxed and calm now. He was often uptight before, but now he's been supportive of Nathan and Chris. What an amazing family, I think to myself. Life sure knows how to surprise you. I can't wait to spend the rest of my days with this amazing family.